Major funding for these programs is made possible by grants from Capital One Bank, New York Community Bank, Eastern Consolidated, M&T Bank, Customers Bank, Meridian Capital Group, Terra CRG, the Wickoff Group, Perfect Building Maintenance, Chase Commercial Term Lending, Chase Commercial Mortgage Lending, Ariel Property Advisors, Genova Burns. Additional support is made possible by AKA Hotels, Corman Communities, AmTrust Title, AVR Realty Company, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Bank Leumi USA, Briarwood Organization, CBRE, Citizens Bank, Connect One Bank, Colliers International NYC, Collins Building Services, CPEX Real Estate Services, Dime Savings Bank of Williamsburg, Douglaston Development, Levine Builders, Fisher Brothers, Flushing Bank, Friedman, LLP, Hendler Real Estate Organization, Hersha Hospitality, HAP, Investment Developers, Hodges Ward Elliott, Inc., Investors Bank, iFunding, James D. Kuhn Real Estate Center at Syracuse University, Kilroy Architectural Windows, Madison Realty Capital, Matone Group, Mercantile Commerce Bank, New Banks, Newmark Grubb Knight Frank, Optimum Window Manufacturing Corp., People's United Bank, Pulcinelli, Rosewood Realty Services, SJP Properties, Sterling National Bank, Stonehenge Partners, TD Bank, The Continuum Company, the Knackle Group at Cushman and Wakefield, the Meringoff Family Foundation, the Moynihan Group, and these friends.
Made in New York. Everybody from around the world wants to eat in New York. They want to have the best food in New York. They want to go to the best fast casual restaurants in New York. They want the best chocolate in New York. They want the best bread. And they want to have the best caterers in New York. So today, with the help of my friend Mr. Neuman, the executive producer, who failed to bring any made in New York products over here, we are going to discuss made in New York, the food and the purveyors and the difficulties in New York. My guests include Keith Cohen, who is the proprietor, owner, chief creator at Orwashers, celebrating its 100th anniversary.
Yes, we are.
He really looks good for 100 years. So, okay, Anthony Cirone, who is the co-owner of Li-Lac Chocolate, and you can see those chocolates over here. Andrew Schnipper, CEO and co-owner of Schnippers. And last but not least, the caterer, my dear friend, Paul Neuman of Newman's Kitchen, the chief creative...
You could stick with that. That's fine. Well, Chief Inspiration Officer.
Chief Inspiration Officer. So since you were helpful enough to bring the people together, how hard is it to be in the food business in New York? How hard is it to be in the food production business?
I'm not sure that we face the same challenges that you guys face, but we face different challenges. Having just built a new facility in Long Island City and not having built anything in 25 years, I was stunned by how difficult it was to get the paperwork done. So building it was challenging. We got it done in time. We got our gas turned on, and that was a moment of panic. But doing business, I mean, the headwinds we face are great competitors. I mean, we're up against 3 or 4 top caterers whenever we're going after something big. But it doesn't feel like it's that hard to build the business right now. The economy tanks, it's going to be a different story. But what I'm hearing from you guys is it's different, slightly different environment that you face.
Now, but all of you, I mean, Andrew just opened up a new store, okay, and you have what, 5 now?
We have 5 now.
5. Anthony opened up in Industry City about 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so, that's where he's manufacturing and also has the store. Keith, as I said, recently just opened up his new store on the west side, so he has 2 stores, plus he opened up a factory,
That's right.
a couple years ago in the Bronx, and you opened up in... So all of you have recently spent money and understand the costs of doing business. Architects, contractors, coordinators, or whatever you want to call somebody who helps the plans get through in the city.
Expediters.
Expediters. I wanted you to say it. I didn't need to. But, that's it. Plus, it's difficult. Labor, the cost of labor. Right now, labor has to have an effect. You were talking before about coffee. There's a question of the price.
Oh yeah, and it's not going down.
Well, it's been. I've been doing this for 27 years. I've been in the business for quite some
So
time.
you look nearly as good as the 100-year-old man.
Not as long as Keith, obviously. It is the food business by its very nature is a tough business. I'm in partnership with my brother. We joke around every day. Why would anybody? It's a joke. It's becoming less of a joke, I should say. Why would anybody voluntarily do this for a living, right? So the answer to the question I can answer for all of these guys is we're all passionate about what we do. We love what we do. Right. I have a friend who's in his 80s who's been in the restaurant business pretty much his entire life, pretty well known. And the comment he makes to me all the time is it's just not as much fun as it used to be. And I think
So what do you attribute? It's not as so much fun.
It's the environment and the regulatory environment more than anything else. In other words, the process of selling food and running a restaurant isn't necessarily different. It's all the extra layers that we're all dealing with in terms of labor and regulation.
When you walk around, okay, and I'll give you a good example. My office is on 50th and 3rd, and there is Essa Bagel over there, who is known for these very rotund bagels. I'm very happy to see that you're doing bagels. But I passed it today, and I saw grade pending. Now, for me, the New Yorker, when I see the word grade pending, I say there's something wrong. With the exception of the UN this week, the crowd to get to Essa Bagel is around the corner. It's like they walk, they found Mecca over there. So it's the question of that. But they don't pay their labor. These people pay them $10 an hour. When you have a $15 minimum wage, you have a much higher expense of running a business.
Right. I think, again, we looked at the number of people who will be affected on January 1st by going to $11 an hour, and for us, it's only a handful of people. So we're at $10.50 or greater on almost everybody. But this 13 the following year and 15 the following year is going to be challenging.
What about you, Anthony?
Just in a broader perspective, there's a lot of challenges to run business like this in New York, but it is a fun business. We make over 140 fresh chocolate items, and we distribute them to our stores in Manhattan, and it's a fun. There's an excitement behind it. That's what drives us. There are challenges, and all the challenges that everyone has spoken of. It's a tough city.
So we're going to do a little marriages over here. You should be selling. They should have chocolate, little chocolate division over there, little dessert items over there.
Well, you talked about opening new stores at the beginning of the show, and critical mass is something that's really important to small businesses. We opened up 2 new stores in the last year, actually. We went from 2 stores to 5 stores in the last 3 years. And when you're a small business, that critical mass helps you. It raises your awareness in the city, and it also sort of spreads your fixed cost out.
But your cost to open up a store,
yes,
as a drop-off store, is much less expensive than Keith opening up a production store or you having a production store. Because bringing in the food, you don't have to. You may need a refrigeration, you may need some other things, but it's a different type of product over there.
The production facility was expensive, I presume.
Production facility is expensive, but it's also a showcase for us, and it helps us by having a local factory in Brooklyn that people know about. They can come and see how we make our production. They can look through the windows and sort of get a feel for what we do. That's part of our selling point. That's one of the things that's unique about Li-Lac. So it's expensive, but there's a benefit to having it as well.
Paul just opened up his new facility in Long Island City with a tasting room and a couple of areas that people can walk through. Do you have that in the Bronx, or do you think
we don't have it in the Bronx? And 78th Street, the original store, had the basement, it was the bakery in the basement, very European, with retail on the ground. And what I wanted to do is kind of meld both of them. So my new store on 81st in Amsterdam, we've taken the baking and put it front and center. So when you're either in the cafe or from the street, you can see what we do. And I thought it was very, very important. And especially baking more so than almost any other discipline. There's this certain passion that goes on. I equate it, people play golf and they're not really good at it, but they still keep playing because they want to get good at it. And we kind of have this ability now to kind of show people what we do. And at a certain point, we will open up for classes.
Do you think showcasing, as I would say, you're in a fast casual type of business. So, I think the idea, in the same way that your food, people want to see how it's produced, I think that opening, the viewing is very important, the naturalness or the freshness.
It's funny, we built a room that seats about 50 people. It sits between the office and the kitchen. We built it with the intention of having a lunchroom for our employees and being able to get our liquor license so that we could qualify as a caterer. What we're finding now is that the story we tell, we call it home field advantage. We bring people in, we show them the kitchen, we have them in for tasting, and it is a compelling story. Our close rate on tastings where people come is just off the charts. And so the room we built and the ability to bring people through is just an enormous advantage for us as a caterer in New York.
Is it more important to be in Manhattan or the boroughs or the Cachet? I mean, all 5 of your locations are in Manhattan.
Correct.
The question is, do you think Brooklyn is the next place? I know you were once in another business that expanded into different boroughs. What do you think about that?
So it's funny. I was born in Brooklyn, and when I was a kid, when someone asked you where you're from, you'd say New York City, and then when they said where in New York, you'd quietly say Brooklyn. And I think things have changed. Everyone wants.
Don't worry, Keith and I are Brooklyn. No,
everyone wants to brag
Brooklyn
about
too.
it from Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn's fantastic, and I think we've looked at a number of places. Our business is definitely, although we serve lunch and dinner, is definitely geared more towards lunch. We don't know that there's enough areas in Brooklyn where there's enough lunchtime traffic yet. There's more office space being built and whatnot, but we require a heavy demand of both, of lunch in particular, but dinner as well. And there are even fewer areas in Manhattan that have that. So, but I think the outer boroughs, especially for what these guys do, to be in Manhattan is very difficult and probably completely cost prohibitive.
Do you think it's important for them to have, like Anthony is a production facility in Brooklyn and locations throughout the city? It's a different type of thing. Do you think it's important that Paul might have a showcase or a tasting room in Manhattan or other places?
So close to get to, though.
The funny thing is, when we were planning the move, we said, where are we going to have our Manhattan tasting room? Or what vehicle, what incredibly fancy Mercedes van with an office built in will we buy or lease to transport people out
It was
in
the
luxury?
Hyundai, you remember?
Yeah,
Your
well-
friendly advisor was cheap.
It was a house.
Hyundai.
Exactly. But our initial plan was, where are we going to have our tasting room? And to have a tasting room in Manhattan at this point is counterproductive for us, because our whole story is about Long Island City. Our whole story is, come see the scale, the sophistication, the cleanliness, the food safety, the props. Our entire operation is what we need to bring you to. We will do anything to get you there if you're a client we want to do business with, because the cost of getting them there is much less than the cost of renting a tasting room that's going to be used 3 times a month.
What about price? I mean, each one of you deal with consumers. There's a question of price, and we were discussing price recently with coffee, but I'd rather talk about price on something that you manufacture. People look at prices, and when we're not in a recession, people spend more money, okay? I still remember recession times. At my restaurant, people would say, oh, we used to sell wine, we now sell beer. So it's a different market, okay? How expensive, or what do you perceive, how are you compared to your peers in the chocolate business, in the bread business, in the fast casual business?
Well, I'm kind of mid-priced. I mean, mid to high, but I think that the product has to be priced in that category because the amount of labor it takes and the ingredients used.
Now, who is your competitors? That's my question.
everyone in the bread business out there and the cafe business now, right? So for my Upper West Side store, I have Maison Kaiser, I have Le Pain Quotidien, I have the local coffee shop, maybe it's even a Starbucks, right? Starbucks still has croissants and they sell bagels. Are they on the same level as mine? No.
Where do you see yourself in the price vein on your product?
We're also mid-priced. We're about $35 a pound for the majority of our chocolates, and in the chocolate market, pricing goes up as high as actually close to $100 a pound for some of the really high-end chocolates. So, you know, I think we're priced well. We also have every price point you can imagine.
Now, do you have bars also besides?
Yeah, we have chocolate bars. We have almost everything you can imagine in chocolate, and we hit really all the different price points. And we're really a gifting company, you know, more than a food company. We're a gifting company. People come to buy gifts from us. So when you asked the question about who's your competitors, our competitors aren't necessarily other chocolate companies. They might be wine companies or basket companies or cheese companies.
We would. I would say that it depends on how people use us. We have a very significant takeout business, but our restaurants are generally pretty large and seat north of 100 people. We are in the process of changing our format. We're testing it in a couple stores, and it seems to be quite successful, where we're actually, for a fast casual restaurant, we're upping our game, so to speak, with full china and tableware. We have runners, so when you come into the restaurant, we give you a pager, you put it on the table, we bring the food right to you. The goal really is to make the experience feel like you're eating in a full-service restaurant at a significantly lower price, without the need to tip necessarily. I mean, there's really no place to tip. You can, but we don't have tip jars, and we don't ask for it. So I think from that perspective, we're seeing the feedback is that we seem to be much, an incredible value.
What's your main of the products you sell? What's the most popular?
Definitely burgers are the most popular, but we sell as many salads and sandwiches combined as a group as we do burgers. And one of the things about us is that everything that we serve is nothing's an afterthought. Everything is very purposeful, and it's the food, it's just very casual food. So, our average check is in the $14 range. Very hard to go out, for a family of 4, and kids, you probably would spend less and spend, $40 to $50 on dinner. We serve beer and wine. So, we definitely, I think in that category where we'd like to believe, we believe that we're value oriented. For the lunch takeout customer, we're probably a little bit more expensive. You could probably go to a deli and spend less money, but we think our quality is warrants a higher price.
Paul, where do you see yourself in the catering world?
Well, we compete in a couple of different markets. So on special events, I think we're in the middle of the top caterers. In the corporate catering, the drop-off sandwiches and luncheons, we're probably at the high end of that market, which is where we want to be. And you used a word we love, which is value. Right. If whatever we charge, we want to be the best value. And if anyone thinks they can go and get what we do for less, they should go get it. We think what we do, no matter what price point we get, I mean, we do dinners at $150 a person, and we do lunches at $15 a person. I want to be the best value for both of those clients. That's my goal.
Sourcing of product, okay, and as I initially said, made in New York. People, when I've done Broadway shows, and I've had the owners of theaters, they said, I said, it's expensive to go to the theater. They said, let's understand what happens. That person from Middle America saves money all year round. It's like when they go to Disneyland. It's the same idea. Mm-hmm. They save the money. They come here. They know they're going to spend the money because they want that product. They want that Broadway theater. They want that food. They want that restaurant. Okay? So when you're doing that, you also, it's the reason that you have so much butter in your product.
That's right.
No, it's the quality of the food. When people come to your places, do they question where the product came from? I mean, is it, there's that big item, if you gave the word Napa to a wine as compared to Long Island wine, even though the wine may be as good, as my friends in Long Island, I've done numerous shows, they'll say, it goes higher because it has the word Napa. It doesn't say because it's Abacoa or Jamesport that it has the same dollar.
Well, when the beauty of what we've built is that as soon as someone walks through the doors, they understand what they're paying for. Now, I don't know if they're willing to pay, but the impression they get.
We have none of your product here to talk about it today.
I'm ashamed.
That will vouch for Paul's product.
No, I'm
we
ashamed.
know.
No, but the
we had a
reality
wa-
of it is we built a show place. We built a place where someone could walk in and understand our values, understand what makes us worth what we charge, so that it's home field advantage. That's what we did.
Which I think what Keith said, opening up this new location over there where you can see the bread being made. I think this is really a valuable.
you
I
can
hate to say
see
it. You see, it's like going back to my days in Brooklyn when the bagels and the bialys were made in the basement. With the guys with the schwitz,
Right.
Okay,
Right.
with the T-shirt.
That's why they
Okay,
tasted so
That's
nice.
exactly right. But now they don't.
But that's authentic,
But
right? So that's
that's-
what we think the a large portion of the public wants today. They want authenticity, and it means a lot of different things. I think in some worlds it does mean local, meaning that the lettuce that was grown on Long Island surely is more authentic and more real than bringing in trucking lettuce from California. For our business, we do some of that. We just carefully source everything that we do, and our kitchens, by the way, are wide open. You come into our restaurant, I mean, you can have a chat with the burger cook while he's cooking your burger.
Right.
They are sometimes we think a little too open because kitchens are kitchens, but we want people we want transparency. We want to be authentic. We want people to realize that the person making your salad is taking real time and real care to make it with real ingredients. We're cooking real food. There's nothing pre-cooked sitting around. That the burger wasn't made an hour ago. It's made. It's not thrown on the griddle till you order it. And I think there's a lot of different levels of that, but this authentic level, this authentic experience is what people seem to be looking for.
Well,
no doubt.
I mean, for us, we started to make egg creams, New York egg creams. So, I mean, you have to use U-Bet syrup. Sure, I could use Ghirardelli or I can find other, but in this case,
New
you
York
have to
City,
be
Fox's U-Bet.
It's
That's
Fox's
the only
U-Bet,
one you
okay,
can
and
use.
that's the only one you can use. And as people said, a higher grade, you're actually degrading the product if you're using a higher grade chocolate syrup.
We have that argument about Heinz all the time, by the way. There are higher quality, and we're still debating whether or not we should be going to an organic ketchup. To me, Heinz is
I think it's the
ketchup.
staple.
It's the staple, and it's, to me, one of the best, but we're looking at some alternatives that the public wants.
I recently wrote an article with regard to the larger food courts, the one like Vanderbilt Eats, and there are a variety of other ones opening up. Do you see your products perhaps being in there? Okay, a Li-Lac chocolate. Do you see, an Orwashers or even a Schnippers? A smaller as opposed to a restaurant. Because the ones that are opening, the good ones, okay, like Vanderbilt and some of the others, the one on 14th, former Barnes and Noble,
17, is that the Union Fair, I think it's
the
called?
Union Fair. Okay, they're doing that. Okay, I'm not Italy because I'm talking about different vendors having their different products. What's your thoughts about that? Especially since you're in Grand Central.
Li-Lac Chocolate's in Grand Central Market. We're in Chelsea Market. We do very well in markets. We do very well where there's other food offerings around and people are shopping and looking for good foods. That's perfect locations for us.
One of the big items today is these donuts. These large, different type of donuts.
Right, which we do as well.
Okay, and they just sell donuts. There's a donut person over there. There's, as you say, there's the chocolate person. There's the person selling the brisket sandwiches and other items. Do you see a mini version of Schnippers?
I think one of the things that makes those markets work really well is this sort of sense that the vendors that are in there are, for lack of a better way of putting it, mom and pop. And not that we're so big because we've only got 5 restaurants, but there is this sort of sense that the person, they're a little bit smaller scale than we are. We're also, we've got a big place in Times Square. We've got some big restaurants around town. I don't know that, I think there might be a disconnect with the authenticity in that. To be honest with you, under our brand, we might do it under a different
No,
brand.
I think that's it sounds realistic. What about you?
And I have no interest in retail whatsoever. I mean, I did retail for 15 years.
Wait a second. You did retail for 15 years.
15
You realized how difficult retail is.
He graduated.
I don't know if I graduated, but I know what I'm good at, and I wasn't good at. I grew up in a family of retailers. I wasn't a good retailer.
You grew up with a fish.
Fish retail. Yeah, I
Fish
did, and I know. One of the things that happens when you get older is you figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at, and I know what I'm not good at. And we are actually playing around now. We're going to be doing a pop-up cafe at an art show at the Armory. This is going to be a 4-day retail, and this is an area we like because it has a large opening event associated with it. It has a VIP audience. It's great exposure for us, but I have no interest in paying rent over a long period of time to,
No, wait,
to
but,
sell
but are you going to be selling little Neuman items or
sandwiches, salads, desserts, cappuccino.
Cookies?
Let's get to the subject of the minimum wage and the effect minimum wage and Obama on your businesses, Obamacare.
What would you like to know?
Quick
How much
comment.
time do you have? Not much. I would just
I
say
didn't get
this.
to the subject of tipping in full-service restaurants.
Well, luckily I don't have to deal. I don't deal with that whole mess. But I will say just a couple very quick things on it. One is that we've already talked about price increases and things like that. If there's any misconception on anyone's part that somehow or another minimum wage goes to $15 and that price is not passed along to the consumer, I think people need to really give that a lot of thought. The scary part for me as a retailer is, unfortunately, I think long term that's what will happen. I mean, I remember I used to go to Italy when I was in college, and there was the lira. We can play around with the currency any way we want. There's doesn't really, you can have zeros across the board, and it won't really change anything.
But then you're going to price something too high. That's,
But
that's question.
long term, it'll all balance
Well-
out. It's the short term that's the big, and it could be a couple of years.
Paul already spoke about it before, Keith.
Well, I'm a small operator. I am that mom and pop, okay? And I need a good talent pool. So if 15 is starting, right, then for me,
18.
that
You're
now,
at 18
now
to 20.
at
We're the
least,
same way.
okay? And more importantly, I will have to pass those increases along, whereas the corporate places, and I'll just use some of the other corporate food places that have, 600 locations throughout, will do their best to start absorbing it, and it's going to push out. And, the people in the neighborhood and those neighborhood places that everybody wants that don't want to lose are going to be forced out.
Anthony?
I mean, we don't mind paying a good wage for, good, solid people. It is the cost.
Cost of doing business.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, the costs in the city are expensive. Not only the minimum wage, but the cost of real estate is very expensive. And somehow we all figure out how to make it work.
So in summation, we're happy that we're all in New York. We're happy that we make great products in New York. I will not go and hit the Plezzo yet, but the baguettes and some of the other items will go later on. And I'd like to thank Keith, Anthony, Andrew, Mr. Neuman, and I'll see you next week.